The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Chiki Verhel. Former Senator Bongbong Marcos emerges as the most preferred candidate for president, at least according to a commissioned survey conducted by SWS last October 2023. The Strat-based ADR Institute confirmed to One News that 47% of the respondents picked Marcos if the elections were held during the survey period. Vice President Leni Robredo is on the second spot with 18%, followed by Manila Mayor Isko Moreno and Senator Manny Pacquiao. Coming in next are Senators Panfilo Lacson and Bato de la Rosa, who withdrew his certificate of candidacy for president on Saturday. Some 3% of the respondents were undecided. Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte, who is now a vice presidential bet, is distancing herself from the issues of PDP-Laban. In a Facebook video, Sara said the problems of the ruling party, chaired by her father, President Duterte, are their own. Recall that PDP-Laban on Saturday made some changes in its lineup for the 2022 polls. The presidential daughter also explained that she did not originally plan to seek a national position, but calls for her to do so continued to come in past the October 8th deadline for the filing of certificates of candidacy, or COC.
I have thousands of supporters who cried last October 8th, and I cannot find it in my heart to make them cry again on November 15. After the deadline, the offer to run for vice president became an opportunity to meet you halfway. It's a path that would allow me to heed your call to serve our country and make me a stronger person and public servant in the years that lie ahead.
Here are other developments in Philippine politics. In an interview with vlogger Banat Bay, President Duterte said he was not aware of his daughter, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte's decision to run for a national post. Duterte claimed Sara's decision was made with Partido Federal ng Pilipinas standard-bearer, former Senator Bongbong Marcos. He lamented that Sara was leading in presidential preference surveys, yet chose to settle only as a vice presidential bet. Asked whether he will go head-to-head against his daughter, Duterte said he will make an announcement in a matter of hours. Meanwhile, vice presidential aspirant Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza said the public will eventually turn against candidates involved in yesterday's political rigadon. Speaking to us earlier, Atienza said the political maneuvering showed how public interest is not considered in political decisions. He said the development will eventually work in favor of patriotic Filipinos and will, quote, wake up the nation that we have to do something about our system of governance. And vice presidential aspirant Senator Kiko Pangilinan said they expected the substitution of candidates. In a tweet, Pangilinan said he and Vice President Leni Robredo will continue to focus on campaign preparations regardless of who else will be in the running for 2022. What are the legal implications of the substitution and shuffling of candidates? Joining us this afternoon to share his insights, we have attorney Tony Lavinia. Good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes, two-part question, Professor. Your reaction, of course, and your thoughts on the vice presidential bid of Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte. And the second part of the question is, what are your thoughts or opinion on the withdrawal of PDP-Laban candidates Bato de la Rosa and Bongo?
Just on the legal side, this is all allowed. So let's be clear about that. I mean, and I think at some point we do need to change the law because, this allowed candidates, the current law allows candidates to kind of not make their minds, confuse the public. And this has been very confusing 2 days, right? So at some point, maybe let's just have one deadline without any substitution. This is not substitution. This is really just an extension of the time needed to make a decision, so you have the right tandem. So that's my overall comment from a legal point of view. This was kind of expected, as Senator Kiko pointed out. The exact formulation of the tandem wasn't clear. Many people thought that Mayor Sara would be running for president, including her own father, actually thought that based on statements. And then Senator Marcos would be running for vice president. But obviously, Senator Marcos was very strong about not sliding down, and Mayor Sara agreed to that. And there must be a reason why she agreed to that. Maybe, in fact, she's not prepared to be president. Maybe she doesn't have the campaign funds to run for president. I'll just get it. I'll just accept her words for face value that this was meeting the demand of her supporters halfway. They want her to run for president. Sige, ako naman, I will just run for vice president. The surprise is that suddenly we have Senator Go running for president and Senator Bato withdrawing. Hindi yan expected, no, na Senator Go would actually run for president, therefore against Senator Marcos, while now there is anticipation that President Duterte himself will be running for vice president against his daughter tomorrow, filing tomorrow, right? So we don't know yet for sure if that happens, but that would be obviously very interesting. But Chiki, the motivations are actually quite clear. So, but let me stop there muna.
Yes, earlier you did clearly say that there are no substitutions going on. But speaking of substitution of candidates, we know that it is allowed under the law. And correct me if I'm wrong, but in the case where the candidate is very ill, or in the case that the candidate has died, then substitution will be allowed. Are there any other conditions where substitution would be allowed?
Well, disqualification. But not cancellation, because the case against Marcos, disqualification can allow the party, I think, to also replace, right? But this is the case. You can only do that with people of the same family name, because you can no longer reprint the ballots after December. The ballots are printed. So let's say a candidate dies 3 days before the elections, a relative can take over, because then the votes will be counted in his favor, but it has to be a relative. So in this case, probably we will be faced with the same people that will already be in the ballot by December.
We have spoken to several political analysts and lawyers regarding the filing of candidacy for vice president, actually, from President Rodrigo Duterte, and they say yes, it is okay, it is legal, but let's just in case the president steps down and he is vice president, for example, is this still constitutional?
Well, we've always said, and apparently a majority of people think so, that running for vice president by a current president is at best a violation of the spirit of the Constitution. And especially if he becomes vice president and then the elected president dies or resigns, no? And let me venture into explaining now, Chiki, for our audience, why I think President Duterte is making these moves, even if it's really against the interests of his own daughter. Chiki, this is about the International Criminal Court, I think. I think the president doesn't trust anybody else to decide that when time comes, will he be arrested and will he be sent to The Hague? And he doesn't trust President Marcos. Maybe he doesn't even trust his daughter. But obviously, he said that if his daughter ran for president, that's okay for him. Cannot understand why the daughter ran for vice president. He certainly trusts Senator Go, but he could actually what the speculation is that Senator Go would then resign, and then he can take over, assuming both of them win. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the people see through that, and I don't think Senator Go or President Duterte is going to win. But if they do win, because they'll have the government machinery supporting them, then in fact that's the motivation right there.
Okay, let me just touch upon the comment that you made earlier that President Duterte probably doesn't trust Bongbong Marcos or Sara Duterte when it comes to them defending him against the ICC. Now, they were floating, or many people were floating, the idea of a term sharing between Bongbong Marcos and Sara Duterte. Is this possible?
No,
Is this legally possible as well?
No, it's not possible. Of course, it can happen by design. If a president Bongbong, he is elected president, and then he resigns after 3 years, and both of them won, then Sara can take over after 3 years. So in a way, in other words, they cannot tell the people that they will do this because that's unconstitutional, that's illegal, right? But they can actually execute it by a simple fact of resignation by the president, by the elected president. That doesn't make sense. I mean, it's floated by their supporters. I think the supporters of Mayor Sara, were upset that she was not running for president, because they were really sure that she was running for president. And then suddenly, here she is now running for vice president.
Right. Very clear explanations and a lot of learnings from our quick chat today, Attorney Lavinia. Thank you for your time and insights, Dean Tony. That's political analyst, actually, Attorney Tony Lavinia.
Thank you. Thank you.
For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Chicky Verhel. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.